Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are live and Pallavi is back.
No, Pallavi is like the Scarlet Pimpernel.
Wait, let the Adu soap ads come. No, why can't you let the ad come?
The
This
ads
show
are
is brought
terrible.
to you by
That
Adu
ads are
soaps.
terrible. And why don't we remove these ads? You'll sell more soap. If people look at these
I
ads, they'll
mean,
never.
No,
how can you have a black soap, yeah?
It's a tribute to
it's
Pallavi.
it's it's activated charcoal.
Okay.
It's activated charcoal.
I'm
Okay, hello
sure your
everybody.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the new and improved India Salon. We are now going to be discussing things more seriously and be more focused on the topics at hand and not the sort of nonsense banter that we are known for. So let's start right away. Of course, it's a very serious topic. And I want to just ask everybody who's come in here to, if you have any questions, go ahead and share them on the chat and we'll ask the panelists as well. And let's go. Professor, let me start with you. It's been a while since we've had you here. This war that Israel and the US has initiated against Iran is not really going as well as they would have anticipated, because in January, when they went in and kidnapped Maduro, it was an in and out operation. On day one of this particular war, they went in and finished Khamenei. But that was not the end. In fact, you have a strange situation wherein their leaders are actually walking the streets amongst people during very, very loud protests. So it's not really worked out. And now Trump seems to be stuck without an exit plan.
look. I mean, a lot of people have been basically saying it's not going to plan. Let's just compare it to the first desert storm in 89-90. That took 40 to 50 days. The second thing also took 30 to 40 days. And here, there has been no ground invasion yet. It's been operational strikes on Iran. Okay, regardless of the legality of this particular war, all this talk about Iranian leaders walking on the streets, I think, is being overdone for a very simple reason. The Iranian president, the Iranian foreign minister actually are powerless. The ones who actually have the power are members of the IRGC and the Assembly of Experts and the Council of Guardians. Do you see them walking on the streets? No, you don't. Secondly, let us face it, the Iranian leadership is taking advantage of the fact that while they're among civilians, it is very unlikely that the Americans or the Israelis would actually target them. So you take advantage of the problems or of the compulsions that your enemies have. You do a walk around, secure in the knowledge you will not be targeted, and the rest of the world, or at least parts of the media, keep on saying, "Oh my God, what a courageous thing it is." This is being overdone. I don't think that either the Israelis or the Americans thought that a decapitation would finish the trick. No. This is the second week or the third week of the war. Let us wait for a few more days, okay, to see how it actually works out. And as for an exit plan, one of the things that Trump could do, and he could do it, Israelis may like it or may not like it, he could say, look, I have won, I am stopping comments, I'm stopping hostilities, but if the Iranians take it up. If I don't hear positively from the Iranians for the next 24 hours, if they continue hostilities beyond 24 hours and close the Straits of Hormuz, then there is worse to come. It would give a face saving way out both for the Americans as well as the Iranians to basically stop this entire business. The Israelis may not like it, but all this talk about the Iranians being very they are being innovative, but this the underlining of Iranian resistance in us, I think, is being overdone given the fact they have not seen the bombing that either Bosnia saw or, for that matter, Iraq saw. I am not recommending this bombing. That would be indiscriminate bombing, no justification for it. But let us face it, so far, what Iran has seen is very clinically and targeted bombing.
All right, Professor. Just to state that during the Quds rally, which also took place a few days ago, there was a protester who was killed, a female protester. So the Israelis and the Iran and the Americans are attacking protesters and people out in the
One
open. So it's
protester
not
killed.
like they're
No,
not.
no,
So
no,
it's
no.
not like they're not.
One second.
This is
One solid,
factual.
one bomb, if it had landed in the middle of the crowd, not one protester would have died.
But
Hundreds would have died.
certainly, but I don't think we can, say with confidence that they are not targeting crowds and
Advaita,
people like that. I don't think
regardless,
we can,
Advaita,
because
regardless
they
of
have
where our
done it.
Let him finish.
Advaita, regardless where our feelings are on this particular matter, I believe this war is illegal, number one. But let us face this. I mean, one protester dying if the Israelis or the Americans bomb a protest rally means that that was possibly unintended. If they had dropped one of their smaller bombs in the middle of the rally, not one, at least 101 protesters would have died. So let us accept it for what it was. If there has been a
Yeah,
casualty, this was
so
possibly a protest.
they bombed little girls in school, right?
No,
So
no, no,
that's
no.
also something
Okay,
they did.
okay, okay. No, no, no. One
Yeah.
second.
So
Just a minute.
Professor,
It
let's
is
not
true,
let's not give them a pass either. Let's
Advaita,
be
nobody's
real.
giving anybody a pass.
Correct.
Let's get
Yeah.
one
So
thing clear. The fact is that the girls' school was near a target. Now, it is to the eternal shame of the Americans that they basically did not target it well enough, and that, they always ran this particular risk. They didn't do their research well enough, and as a result of which, you have 160 kids dying, which is actually a matter of shame for the Americans and a tragedy for the rest of the world. Nobody is taking anything away from that. But to suggest that the Americans deliberately targeted that girls' school, I think is foolish. It helps nobody except the Iranians.
well, it happened, and they are in
It
we
happened.
are in the time of precision strikes. So
That's the big
it
that's
can't
one
be
point.
understated. Yeah.
That's
So
the bigger
Suhail,
point.
coming over to you. Suhail, coming over to you. Moving on from this, Trump was hoping for a big in and out. Right now, he's reached such a desperate point wherein he's asking other countries to come in and escort ships out of the Strait of Hormuz. And basically, Japan has said, we're not doing it. We're going to take our own independent decisions. China has given a very kind of neutral statement saying that whoever has interest, blah, blah, blah. Uh, France has said, absolutely not. Our posture has not changed. We are still only taking a defensive stance. So you are slowly seeing countries distancing themselves away from Trump. What does this mean for America, and what does this mean for Trump?
It means diddly jack for America. America was screwed on January 20, 2025, when they elected this idiot. What it means for Trump is he's got very little wiggle room left. See, remember one thing: America always fights proxy wars more than usual. They need allies. Wherever they fight, they use allies. So, what has actually happened? Let's pull back and see the situation. Why is Iran attacking erstwhile friendly countries or Islamic countries? Iran is doing that to put civilian pressure on those respective countries' leadership to say, look, why the hell are you supporting the US? Because if you're supporting the US, you're against us. And we have no choice but to attack you. And you can see that pressure build up on countries across the Gulf. That pressure is also now spilling over to Europe. You saw what Giorgia Meloni said from Italy, that I want to have nothing to do with this war. Look, it is no one's war. This was either a distraction for Trump from Epstein, or it was just his way of procuring and ring fencing more and more oil. What is he actually doing? You are playing into the hands of people who are manipulators and price hoarders. The price of oil, when it goes up, it impacts every country in the world, including America. Thanks to the tariff and then the rollback, and then the fact that almost 2,000 US businesses have sued Donald Trump's government for 123 billion, means America today is a shit show. They have inflation, but more importantly, they have no friends left. Who can you count as America's friend today? Who are their allies? See the way he spoke about and to Keir Starmer. That was the special relationship that the US had with the United Kingdom. He has alienated NATO, he has alienated the EU, he has alienated, he had already alienated China. Guess who are the three people smiling all the way to their political hustings? Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, and Narendra Modi. They're just seeing how America's entire ally base is collapsing with every passing day. Number three, countries get more hurt when the economies are hurt. They don't get hurt when a school is bombed or because they don't care. They're heartless people. When you screw someone's economy, you screw them totally. What did Citibank do day before yesterday? They issued an order to evacuate all Citibank employees from Dubai and from Abu Dhabi. Now, I have to say this, the UAE, amongst all the countries, has managed this crisis the best, but even they are suffering. Today, the UAE technically is losing almost $1 billion a day in terms of revenue, in terms of investment. Hotel rates are down. Dubai was created and is more or less a tourism hub. When you have everything collapsing, you have people fleeing. It is, see, remember, Vaita, the economy is always a matter of sentiment and perception more than a matter of reality. It is the sentiment and the perception that drives the so-called reality. Today, people are saying, "Oh, Dubai is unsafe. Oh, UAE is unsafe." What Trump has managed to do is he has made the world a more dangerous place, leaving very few places safe. That is going to harm America. They're not reporting accurately, but there are more than 76 bodies of American soldiers which have gone back to the United States.
Wow.
Presidents in the United States fear only two things: losing an election, but even more importantly, body bags returning to America. Because that shows you to be inept, weak, and a war that no one wanted and no one needs. So today you're
Okay.
seeing a situation of gravity and grave disillusionment with the idea that America was created with and the perception that America always had. So I believe that we in India need to be cognizant. There will be short term pain because that pain is now global. Gold prices have never fallen in the manner that they have. The dollar has never hinged the way it has. So you're seeing global headwinds of the kind that you and I can't imagine. And India will also go through that pain. It's another matter that we've been able to fortify some of our oil supplies from the Straits of Hormuz, but this is not going to last for very long. I'm not here
Okay.
as the oracle of doom, but I'm telling you, India needs to be as cognizant and as prepared as any other country. It is not a war of our creation. It's not a war that we wanted. It's not a war that will benefit us. What it is going
Okay.
to do is it's going to harm every citizen of the world.
All right. Okay, we have over 240 people live with us. Please go ahead and ask your questions. I'll put them to the panel. Sandeep, the thing with Dubai is Suhail said that Dubai is handling it very well. However, there are contrary reports. It's the one that's been targeted most heavily by the Iranians because it is believed by them to be the one that is sort of a proxy for the United States and Israel, although they've played that under the table in the past. And the other thing that's coming out, if you've noticed, and I know one good authority, that anyone who is in Dubai right now is not really allowed to say anything different, to tweet, to show videos, photographs, or anything that can impact brand Dubai. So, how I know you know a lot of people around the world and in that area as well. So, how true do you think is this whole visage of Dubai holding on?
See, I think it's not a visage. They're obviously under pressure and being close to Iraq, they will be vulnerable. So they will do both these things because long term, everybody sees their interest, what you have to protect. And as Suhail mentioned, Dubai has to protect protect. Essentially, it's a safe haven for a variety of things, whether it's a tax haven, whether it's a tourist hub, a business location. They have to maintain that, because once that reputation goes, it's taking a long time to rebuild it. Like Dubai had reached this stage over years, so they will have to be careful. Like we have to protect our interests. For them, those are the strategic assets they'll have to, protect. Now they are also caught between in a very difficult situation. Just like in India's case, India had to take a call which side they will go, whom they're going to support. Similarly, the other Middle Eastern countries had to weigh their options. But they also realize that they are not the primary target. They are only a proxy target. And therefore, just like India has managed to some extent, strike some back channels, etc., to secure in a minimal way its interest of, moving the oil tankers to Strait of Hormuz, etc. Dubai and others will also, I suppose, use their Islam Brotherhood card, etc., to, normalize the situation. But without being either a expert on wars, where I differ with Doctor, which I seldom do, there is a lot of difference between the Iraq and Bosnia days of warfare and today's warfare. Today's is absolutely targeted warfare. Boots on ground for Americans may not be a solution for reasons Suhail said. Americans cannot afford body bags. And I think Vikram Sood said at the Raisina dialogue, they forget the Iranians are happy to die, whereas Americans don't want to die or don't want their people to die. So that's a huge advantage. And the off-ramp thing we were talking about, I think America bargained that, as soon as Khamenei is killed, they will have the revolution and they could replace the new leader and regime change and then close it. Now, that's not happened and that's unlikely to happen. So they'll have to find another rationale. But where America is going to be hit most is on the economy. Till a certain point, they can sell Iranian regime was an evil regime and all of it. But now, like somebody told me who just landed in California, point to point, and I rechecked on the net, their gas prices have risen 60% in the last 1 month. So if that sort of price increases happen, whether it's 20, 30 at any place, another place it may be more, I don't know the exact numbers, that's going to start hurting. And what Suhail said, the business pushback, etc., I think that will be the biggest pressure on Trump. Just as you are saying, Dubai is putting up a visage. I think the American administration is also trying to put on a visage. And with other countries, the NATO countries, European countries, everybody not really, singing the same tune, I think they are isolated. And that's what I think, in a quiet way, gives, as Suhail mentioned, China, Russia, and India, despite whatever our opposition may have to say, puts us in a much better position than others.
Right, right.
I think that
Pallavi,
was a lot.
Parliament is also on right now. Quick, I'll come back to you, Sandeep.
No, I just one point. Whether people agree or not, Modi's trip to Israel before this was, I think, a masterstroke in other ways, because it has been able to secure India's interests on the defense side, on the other thing, which we are totally today dependent on Israel more than any of the other countries.
Okay. Also, I want to add, it was his first trip in 9 years. So, that's also important to caveat that with that
No, how is that
particular fact.
important?
It
No,
is
how is
because
that?
because there is a misinterpretation that he keeps going
No,
and
no,
he
I'm
keeps
only
hanging out with
curious.
BB and all of that.
I'm
Yeah.
not challenging
Okay,
your
Pallavi, coming to
intellect.
you,
You're
Pallavi.
just
Parliament is on. As usual, we've not been able to see any cogent position emerge on issues that matter to the people. We did see the LPG protest. That's a non-starter. Basically, we just saw Rahul Gandhi sitting on the steps of the main door of Parliament having chai and biscuit, and that
Toast,
usual sort of
toast.
toast. Okay, that usual college canteen sort of stuff going on. What's the buzz in Parliament when it comes to the war? Or are they too busy trying to evict the speaker and then the ECEC and then all of that?
No, but whether they are actually the government, moving around in those corridors, the government is of course worried because first of all, you don't know how long it's going to last, and So if I noticed over the last couple of days, the government was trying to change its goalposts on the biggest problem now is how to reassure the people repeatedly that all is very well. See, crude oil, they're not too worried about, petrol, diesel, they're not too worried about because that has been stored. And we've also been taking from other routes. Only 70% has been coming in from the non-Hormuz route. So they are not too worried about that. The thing is that Cape of Good Hope is a longer route, but there were enough stocks. The problem is LPG. For all the bravado, the fact is the government is little worried about the LPG, and now they're very open about it. So the problem was that how do you firefight it? You had those debriefings which were taking place with reporters, and the government was not putting a face to it. There was no statement from the government till you saw that altercation between the oil minister and Rahul Gandhi. And that too, Rahul Gandhi, very luckily for the BJP, derailed the entire process when he brought up the Epstein file. So no one was talking about LPG. To my mind, for the opposition parties, this was a huge issue that they can capitalize on, especially since the elections are coming up. Then the government got an internal report that things were not going down well. Because, whatever you may say, people will hoard. They are scared. There's panic buying. And there is a shortage. I mean, there are restaurants which are shutting down or they're cutting down their menu. And that is when they've decided that they'll have these interministerial briefings where you have some babus sitting there. And only yesterday they decided to take questions. And, a committee has been set up, the Prime Minister has set up. So, in terms of narrative, for a little bit now, I would say that the government seems to
Narrative.
have controlled it. Sorry, Uncle Red and Mutton. In terms of narrative, the government has managed to at least send out this message for now. Ki LPG hai. But there are elections. Now, I suspect that till the elections, they're going to try and control the prices. And after that, if the war still continues, what's going to happen? How long can you keep on saying that cylinder
Great point.
mil jayega? Because,
Great point. No, I'm being
and
honest.
oh, I'm touched.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Pallavi,
I'm
wrap it
so
up.
touched, I don't know what else to
Professor.
say.
I need to get to
Right.
Professor.
Okay.
Okay, Professor,
Advaita,
a lot of people
can I
are
make a
saying,
point of order? Can I make a point of order?
Boss,
You
1
know,
minute. You'll never
I,
get to parliament.
I speak.
You're barely allowed to cover it. What point of order are you making?
May I say something, Advaita, if I have your permission, since you're the host of
Point
the
of
show,
order.
and
She's
not
no
Suhail?
speaker. Does she look like Birla?
Advaita, I speak the least and I'm interrupted the most. And second, you tell me, first of all, you don't give me the candle. And second, you
yeah,
let people steal my stuff. And third, you tell me to cut it short. And the man on the other side on the screen is the one who stole the candle. I'm finished.
But she did make a very, no, I swear, it was an
Now everyone has
outstanding
disappeared.
point. No, Advaita, we've got to agree on one thing. Government must prepare as to what is going to happen when the elections happen because this is going to be a serious political issue. Remember, this country has thrown out governments over an onion. You think they won't do the same over LPG? So, but
Okay,
I
can I
will
come
say
in on
one thing
this?
today. And Pachi Karkaria, the noted columnist, tried to act snarky with me, and I gave it back to her on Twitter. I wanted to do a test. I got my help in Goa to call up Bharat Gas in Goa, and one cylinder was empty and it was due. There was no panic, there was no crisis, nothing. They don't. The cylinder is in the name of my wife, so no one can say, "Oh, आपका नाम उन्होंने पढ़ा." Came and delivered it brilliantly. No kit pit.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there are people, but remember, Advaita, I said it on television the other day. We as a nation love to hoard. The moment there is even a semblance of panic, you will find people hoarding cylinders. That's actually what's happening. People are
Yeah.
hoarding cylinders. Yesterday, Amazon sold 1.2 lakh induction plates. Half those jokers don't have electricity connections that are working. But induction plate pe aap
I
khaana
had
banaoge.
called this out earlier also. I wish induction plates had stock. But coming to you, Professor, I want to ask you this question, and I think you'll be best suited to answer it. A lot of analysts are saying that the pressure that's going to actually work on Trump to put an end to this is the global economic pressure and the fact
What
that,
if I said that?
energy
He
is
also
not
said that.
coming through the God, energy is not coming through the Strait of Hormuz. It's also one of those places where fertilizers come in, 80% of the fertilizers coming in come through there. So we could then be facing a food shortage because this is planting season and it's required. So that seems to be more likely. And you have a lot of countries also distancing themselves from Trump because of this. What's your reading on this particular
Look,
situation?
what goes in these cases first is basically spot prices. Most of the oil contracts we depend on basically are long-term contracts. They get affected if the war continues for a very, very long time. Now, I don't think this war will continue for a very, very long time. I think within 1 week or so, you will probably see one of the parties or both parties claiming victory and withdrawing. Uh, Whether the Hormuz will remain open after that is an open question, but I believe it will open. So this war is not going to drag on for very, very long. What is going up are spot prices. And the Americans right now import very little of their oil from the Middle East. Most of their oil comes from elsewhere, including domestic sources. So as to how permanent these oil prices are is another matter altogether. Now, rest of the world hurting doesn't bother Trump anymore. Actually, much. You see, and as for the rest of the world turning away from Trump, how many of the countries were actually supporting Trump? It is 1 or 2 weeks after he hectored some countries that the UK moved its warships close to the Gulf only to be insulted by Trump. So that particular thing has been played very badly by Trump, and it's not as if the rest of the world is standing with Trump. Our problem, India's problem, is gas because we source most of our gas from Qatar, which has declared force majeure for understandable reasons because they have been attacked. Now, there are other alternative sources of gas. It's except the problem is they are quite far away. So you have Algeria, you have Russia, you have other countries. Now you have to take longer routes for them to come. And I think within a few weeks, this problem will be sorted out. See, the problem is the panic reaction. The moment Qatar stopped, basically declared force majeure, in some states you started to have hoarding, and that basically blew up. For most states, I believe I was looking at the net, you don't have this kind of panic reaction that you've seen, say, in states like West Bengal or one or two other states. For most states, it's working on very well, except for some states where the state governments have said the first priority is households, hotels are the second priority. Now, that actually, in my opinion, as of now, is still a very small, is still controlled, is still very limited. And the problem will not be on prices. The problem will be on physical quantities. Are there physical quantities? In the world there are. It will just take time to actually procure that because gas production
Okay.
is something that you can ramp up and
All
ramp
right.
down. one
Okay.
one
Thank
other
you.
problem. No, no,
Yeah.
no, one other point. You see, it was never my argument that the Americans should send boots on the ground. What I said was the following: even with boots on the ground in 1990, they took 40 days to subdue Iraq. Here, they don't have the boots on the ground at all. It's basically aerial assault, and it's been just 2 weeks. And it was not the kind of indiscriminate bombing that you saw in Bosnia. It's been fairly targeted bombings. How effective have they been? I think in the coming week we'll find out.
Okay, we have over 400 people live with us. Please go ahead and tweet, like, subscribe,
And
do all
someone
those
has
things.
given you
Ask your
$4 also.
questions. Yeah, five, 4.99. But
What do you do
before we
with
move
this
on to
money? Do
the
you buy make
Tell me,
clothes?
she's running the show. You're making snarky comments. Is that a good thing? You're a senior person. You eat, you drink, you do everything. Nothing but
I'm just asking
nonsense.
her that what do you do with this money that you get, the limited money?
okay,
I
I'll
get
give
that
you
you will make
$5.
more soaps.
I'll give you $5 next week. Okay, listen now.
You
Uh,
couldn't give me a candle. You give me $5.
Okay, Sohail. Last question before we move on. I want to ask Sohail. Sohail, one has been seeing the things that Hexeth and Trump have been saying, and one has been watching how the Iranians have been handling this whole crisis.
The
You
who?
have. Can I just finish my question?
Iranians.
Okay, Iranians. There. Okay.
Heroin.
Uh, Whatever. Okay, quickly. Trump is saying things like, "I'm going to bomb because it's fun." Hexit is nuts and super aggressive and testosterone filled, like not required. On the other hand, you have people from Tehran, being so much more balanced, so much more well spoken. How is this communication strategy of both these countries coming across,
The
objectively
difference
speaking?
is the difference is Iran is a civilizational legacy. America is a hick country born of recency. That's the difference. The tehzeeb of an Iranian will be far different from that of an American. A. B. Hexeth and Trump are scum. They are Lawa people. In Uttar Pradesh, there's a word Lawa, means ekdam useless fellow. That's who they are. They're bullies. And a bully is essentially a coward. They are using the might of the United States of America to say the most atrocious things. And they're allowed to get away. You saw your favorite group, India Today, invited that Laura Luma or Luna, whatever the hell her name is. I mean, these are the kind of people even we are sitting and inviting. So my point is that a whole comparison between Hexeth and an Iranian is misplaced because you're talking about a country which has had civilizational legacy versus a country that's cowboy land. So don't even make that comparison. Now, look at the pain that every American, ordinary American is going through. And then also look at the pain of past American presidents. No one had imagined that the US president would behave in the manner that Donald J. Trump has behaved. Between January 20 last year and now, his family has amassed $4.2 billion. I mean,
My
you're
God.
talking about ridiculous levels of absolute cronyism, and yet no one can do anything.
The only thing that can be done is that they lose the House and the Senate come November, and then he's just a lame duck president. That's the only thing that can happen to
And tell
kind
that
of curb
one
this.
idiot commentator, Jubilee Pot, Suhail, it's Suhal, will say government doing fantastic job, will fly for Dubs and NY next week. The English is, but will fly to Dubai and New York next week. When you write like this, write properly, or otherwise go back to the into the cave you emerged from.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
Yeah,
attention
but
to the
I like the spelling of Hexeth. This is a very correct spelling where Hexeth is concerned.
Okay, now on this note, I may have to depart because I have
Thank
other.
God. Oh.
So, hey, we are not going to miss you, but thank you so
He
much.
has a party to go to.
No, I don't. It's a very dear college friend's father's 75th birthday.
You
You
That's
went to
don't,
sweet.
you,
college?
you can't have any of these three because
You
A, you've been
cannot
to college,
have
B, you don't have
you
friends,
cannot have a
and
Yes.
those friends certainly don't have fathers. So
you're
you
you're
and
you're
you
like
can't speak.
you you having a friend whose dad is 75 is hard to believe. Probably 95th birthday.
Yeah. Yes. Unless you went to
75
college
would
very,
be
very
your
late in
friend.
your life.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
This is a
So if
good
you
catch. Good catch,
yeah,
Pallavi.
It's
fake
Good.
news.
stupid. Her mathematics is as sharp as her tongue. Both
Okay,
have failed
everybody. So
bluntly.
here you're looking good using the soaps. Bye now.
So, hey, let
I
me
think you
got
meant
no
75th
stolen
birthday.
soaps. Advaita, stolen
He uses
soaps.
it on his hair also, by the way.
Bye, Suhail.
All
I
right,
think Suhail
now
has
we'll
lost
switch
weight.
gear. We're switching gear to West Bengal, and professors, of course, joining us from West Bengal. The other two are Bengalis.
What is he doing
Uh,
there?
Don't miss Pallavi. He's got a green
What are you
background.
doing
So,
there, Professor?
but he's got a green background. He's color
he's in a
coded.
bunker. He's
No,
in a
the
bunker.
political.
That's what it
No,
looks like when you're in a
no,
bunker.
no,
I've seen a lot of
It's
No,
Israelis
I
yellow.
just
coming
want
and
to know
shooting
one
from
thing.
bunkers.
Since Sandeep is in Kolkata, Professor, you're in Kolkata, you should be ideally sitting next to Sandeep and doing the show, right? Or he hasn't called
I
you
should
over for
be.
lunches and dinners.
He has not.
he's too
Yeah,
busy.
he only puts up all those poor salesman kind of posts on Instagram,
He's
and he
too
doesn't
busy.
call people over for lunch or
He's
dinner.
either in Salt Lake
Get
or
it?
in Jadavpur or Gadia, wherever he says, and never reachable. But Professor, you've got a green background. Are you in a Trinamool TMC office?
Actually, it's a yellow background. It may appear green, but what can do one do about this?
He's in a bunker. He's hiding out. Professor, how's the Josh in West Bengal?
It's funny, I was visiting an industrial area yesterday when the Prime Minister was supposed to come, and the parallels with 2009-11 is this. You see, in 2009, the ruling left front was anxious, and the Trinamool was upbeat. Here, for the first time, I noticed Trinamool workers, activists are very, very anxious. But that upbeatness among the BJP party workers has not yet started. Although yesterday they had a massive rally, and it was a big rally, it was a huge rally. Now, if they can keep this up, if this momentum is contagious, you may see things happen. But the fact remains, unless organizational problems by the BJP, in a sense, are sorted out, they are able to attribute, allot at least one polling agent per polling booth. I think we will have same thing as you did last time. But there is this
Okay.
particular difference. The Trinamool is anxious.
All right. Sandeep, over to you. You're in Cal as well.
See, the first thing, first you should observe my color coding. This is being politically very neutral, green, and I'm wearing a pink or whatever jacket. So I'm being as neutral as possible in terms.
What
And
does
I
pink
feel
have to do with anyone? Whose
what
color is
pink
pink?
clothes. This is closed in between somewhere, left and saffron
That
and red or
totally didn't
whatever.
land. Anyway.
Anyway, so it's. So getting back, the point is, I think Trinamool would obviously not leave anything to chance. They see the challenge. They know what they're up against. They have been rattled a bit by the SIR that has rattled them. They know there will be a lot of other bandobast, etc., to administer the polls and rest of it. So they are not going to leave anything to chance. They are also aware of the ground level anti-incumbency, and that's why, today you saw suddenly 2 hours before the announcement of elections, they have cleared the rear dearness allowance for which they had held up for such a long time, and announced some again 2,000 rupees additional honorarium to, or 500 rupees additional honorarium to the priests and the what do you call them, the priests of all communities essentially. So they have done all of that. So they are conscious of it. But the challenge for BJP, I'm very, very skeptical of the BJP essentially for a number of reasons. First of all, seeing how their entire campaign fizzled out in 2021, because I still think that they don't entirely get Bengal. There is nobody really in the BJP Delhi ranks. Last time they deputed Kailash Vijayvargiya, who really made a mess of it. But the question, Suhail is not there. A very, very elementary brand question. If you say any brand, whether it's Yadu or something, who am I is the first question. And then the second question comes, why me? BJP today, here, the only reason people will vote for BJP is Narendra Modi. And so therefore, it is a direct pitch against Narendra Modi and Mamata Banerjee. Now, despite all the anti-incumbency of Trinamool, people probably could trust that, Mamata Banerjee more than what they call a central leader of a party which has really no base in Bengal. If you see any of the BJP leaders, there is no differentiation you can make. So again, any brand, when you're doing even your brand, you have to differentiate it from the other offerings in the market. So what is the differentiation? Shubhendu Adhikari is not Himanta Biswa or any other leader you talk of. They are just, from the same stable. And that's the problem. Bengal has become a lumpen democracy, and the people, they will shift. That's what Kailash Vijayvargiya tried to do last time, buy them out from one place to the other and create that. If people don't see that as a change, it is difficult. Where BJP, I
Right.
don't think they have done till 2019 when they won. RSS was doing a lot of silent work in the remote areas, especially the tribal districts. And all of them, they had been doing years of work. And that is where they had made entry, and also a lot in North Bengal. Now, that was all given away in the 2021 elections when the Delhi team came in. Now, I'm not too sure. I haven't seen any evidence if they have been able to, bring that bit of equity or the ground force into the system. What they are now trying to do, I think they've learned their earlier lessons. They're trying to maybe to some extent replicate the Bihar model. Strangely, Bengal has gone back to elections from being 7 or 8 phases for now several years, for more than I think Professor would recall. I would think almost 2 decades now. 2011 or so, it started those multi. And strangely, this time, TMC was asking for multi-phase, whereas earlier they objected. And BJP and CPM were asking for only 2 or 1 phase elections. I just saw the distribution of the 2 dates. The first date, Professor, if you have noticed, they have taken the Bangladesh bordering areas of North Bengal, Murshidabad upwards, and the western West Bengal. That is this areas of which I was telling you of the tribal belt. The core areas of Bengal, West Bengal, southern Bengal, which is north and 24 Parganas, Nadia, these have been kept. A smaller area, a geographical area, the number of constituencies is large, they have been kept for the second day. So that's how I think the first would be a border management, second time would be a question of really managing law and order here. And they'll try to do something over there. But Mamata is
Yeah.
not going to take a chance. They will all do, and I think it'll be very, very uphill.
All right. Okay, Pallavi, what has been the buzz in political circles? The dates have been announced just a few hours ago. We'll have our results next month. By this time, we'll know whether Mamta is coming back or there's been one of the biggest upsets in electoral history in India, which is if she is unseated from the chief minister's position. What is your take on this particular issue amongst the political
See,
class? What are they
see,
saying, and what's happening in Bengal? Yeah.
So BJP always wanted a 1 or 2 phase election, and that is what the official letter was written by them to Election Commission. See, I remember in the last assembly election, it was an 8 phase election, and it was also right in the middle of COVID. And a long phase, multi-phase elections, the BJP calculated gives that advantage to Mamata Banerjee because she has that very cadre, she can move them around, and they felt that she micromanaged the booth capturing or whatever booth management. So this time around, the BJP is very upbeat. Moment after the schedule was announced, Mamata Banerjee was huddled in a meeting with all her ministers. Look, she is a fighter. She hits the ground. She does all of that. But she also knows it's a tough election. After all, fourth time, and also strong anti-incumbency. Malda, Murshidabad, those areas where the illegal immigrants issue an SIR. And mind you, the SIR exercise is still going on. Huh? The matter is still
Yes.
not completed till the last day of nomination. So a lot is going to change. A large number of voters who are going to make a lot of difference. Also, I think Professor and Sandeep were talking about BJP's last. I think Sandeep was talking about. Look, the BJP's understood its mistakes. First of all, personal attacks on Mamata Banerjee. You don't see that happening till now. Second, last time I saw people like Kailash Vijay Vargia being brought in, and he tried to use his MP style of politics over here. People like him are being kept out. Shomik Bhattacharya, who's been made the president, is someone who understands Bengal a little bit more than, say, a Kailash would as a state president. Dilip Ghosh, he didn't made a huge mistake last time down. Those Bermuda shorts comments. He's been brought back because he's very good in the organization bit. So I think the BJP is understanding that everyone has their use, and what they are missing out in way of a big face like Mamata Banerjee, they're going to try and make it up. And ye zaruri nahi hai ki there has to be a woman only to lead West Bengal, and therefore BJP is trying to look for a woman face. After all, Jyoti Basu, Buddhadev Dasgupta, and all of them were there. Na? So, and Bengal takes a lot of time to change. That's what happened in the case of left and TMC. So BJP is pinning on that. I think they're going to come out with a very smart, well thought of strategy. No Jai Shri Ram. Look at the Prime Minister's letter to everyone, Ma Kali. All of those little things. What the BJP should
Okay.
not do is bring in too many people from Delhi to come and campaign over there, where it will be easy for the TMC to push forward this argument of a Bohiragoto party. That is, it's a Delhi-based party which is trying. People talk about Dravidian parties as being, very parochial. Bengalis are equally parochial. We are very touchy about, oh, this person is coming from Delhi, oh, this person is coming from Punjab. I think this time round they've decided that they're going to use a lot of local talent, not getting leaders from TMC to jump here and then give them tickets. Yes, some cheese they won't do this time round. So let's
All
see.
right.
It's going to be an
I,
interesting,
I,
violent election.
okay. Professor, I'll just come to you because we should start wrapping up as well. I just have a quick this thing about the West Bengal election. Pallavi, we're not talking about the Congress at all this time round. Are they active there? I mean, what's going on with them?
0 seats last time. The Congress can't make up its mind. Sometimes they plant this khabar Advaita that they are going to tie up with the TMC, but TMC doesn't want them. They're a liability, 3% vote share, 0 seats. Also, the one who is the Bengal president of a Congress party, he's considered to be someone who's extremely close to Mamata Banerjee, and apologies for her. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, nowhere. The one man who could have stood up to Mamata Banerjee, at least in that Murshidabad area, nowhere. Do you see his face anywhere? Ratan Tataji is not present here and he still was making comments on me. I'm
He's
radiating
saying you're
happiness.
radiating. He's saying you're radiating. Let's take a compliment for what it is. Yeah.
You know
Why,
what?
why,
Why you're radiating, Pallavi?
why
Say
you
No,
it.
I'm
flush?
not. Advaita, I don't have the soap. I also don't have a candle. Okay, and you're
Because
not
they
getting
all
the
want
point.
free soaps, guys. So please buy soaps because they
They
all
won't,
want free
excuse
soaps.
me, I paid for the
Okay.
soap.
Yeah, you paid initially. After that, it's become like demand and
After
supply.
that, I've got no,
Demand
no,
and
no,
I
no.
supply.
It's
Candle
like
was
the
supposed to be a gift.
Russian oil. 50 from $50 a barrel now to
Yeah.
$90.
I have only one bar of soap left, guys, which is very good soap, I must tell you. But Advaita, please make a rose flavored candle and soap for me. I love
I
roses.
have a lovely rose, Himalayan rose. I'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
I've
you.
So
named it
can I come
after
in now?
me.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
Professor.
Okay. In the
that's more
last
the Himalayan
elections,
part than the lovely. Anyway,
you know, in the last elections, when it came to the choice of tickets, Mukul Rai unfortunately had a lot of influence and he got a lot of TMC courts, turncoats, to contest the elections on behalf of the BJP, which actually angered the rank and file. People forget when the second round of tickets were being announced, there was actually wholesale rebellion in the party, and many of the old timers didn't actually campaign. This is something that
correct,
people
correct.
forget. Number one.
Which is
Number
why
two,
they're trying not to make that mistake.
okay, so this time the local BJP, local RSS actually is screening all the candidates. Okay, the final decision may be taken elsewhere, but they will be a subset of the people screened by the local party and the local RSS. Number one. Number two,
Correct, correct.
okay, it's very easy to blame Vijay Varghya. Vijay Varghya basically was very ham-handed in his approach, but the fact is, it also points to a domestic problem within the party. Then, you see, if this had been the Maharashtra BJP, they would have had the wherewithal to actually fight and plan these elections. It is because the local BJP organization was weak. The party grew faster than the organization. 2019 wasn't sudden explosion in the party's strength and voter base. The organization could not keep up. Things now are somewhat different. So the local party organization has somewhat more confidence. They are stepping up, at least when it comes to the screening. They are basically ensuring that the mistakes they did in 2021 do not occur again. As for parochialism, look, in a state election, you expect state leaders and the state parties basically to fight, do most of the fighting.
Hmm,
This is
correct.
true for any state actually. So it's not so much parochialism, it's basically a sign that if you are relying too much on national leaders, you probably don't have a credible local leadership. But then that is a disadvantage we know that the BJP has. I think what is important is the following. we unfortunately are too much taken up by what Calcutta presidency thinks, which demographically is against the BJP. The battle for West Bengal, I believe, will be fought and won largely outside the Calcutta presidency area. Okay, in the hinterland, the demographics of the Calcutta presidency area, in a sense, do not favor the BJP. Of course, there are about 20 seats where the BJP has to win. By and large, this battle will be won outside Kolkata. It will be won or lost by BJP outside Kolkata, where many of the things, where this so-called Bengaliness is thrust on them, or non-Bengaliness is thrust on them, will probably not matter. What will
Okay.
matter is the BJP organization actually coming down and working cohesively.
Okay, final question, starting with Sandeep. Short answers, then we wrap it up. Sandeep, is TMC going to come back or is BJP going to score an upset?
If you ask me to put a probability, I think it's today I would rate it 80-20, in
Wow.
favor of TMC, in favor of
Wow.
TMC today. And as the ground reality stands,
Will the
let's
BJP do better than last time? If I put the question to you like that.
see, last time better. See, BJP didn't do too badly last time, but the hype they created that they were winning, that's what made
Actually,
it appear that it was a disaster. And thereafter, also, there's
absolutely.
lots of defections happened post-election, which made it look like a washout. And third thing which happened is the central government, the central leaders totally abdicated the Bengal. The next day, they took a flight and disappeared. Whatever was happening, and
Yeah, yeah.
that is again a very very raw memory which people in Bengal have of the BJP. So
Right.
What is
anyway,
it?
saying Professor saying about Calcutta presidency, he is absolutely right. Whenever there has been change, even when the left came, Calcutta presidency continued to vote initially for Congress. Thereafter, just it continued voting for the left, and whereas so that will be last thing to change. And like any metro, people hardly go out to vote. But where in this there is a stage of political evolution here, Mamata Banerjee is still the catchment. Aren't the people, where she's giving all these various doles, there's Kanya Shri, and that Shri, all that is getting. And when people's ambitions are limited, if they are fighting an existential battle, the very, very poor section, for them, that 500, 2,000, 2,500 rupees is a lot.
Actually,
For them, at this juncture, a big ticket development which Modi talks of may not make much sense. For them, it's a daily existence question. So changing shifting the needle there, and most importantly, also the ground strength. They have worked on the ground for years together, and one will have to wait and watch. See, in case of
Okay, Professor. Yeah.
30 seconds in
okay,
one instance, what had happened because CPM's exploitation of the rural area had turned totally anti-CPM. Here, there's a lot of poorer people in those sections. They're still getting, money, etc. And they here the Mamata Banerjee image matters. The CPM had a party image, not an individual image. So that is the change that has happened.
Why are you sighing, Pallavi, while Sandeep is speaking?
No,
That's so rude. That's very rude. Okay.
Anyway,
okay,
Professor?
okay. To answer
Oh,
the
he's
first
hot.
question,
He's
you know,
hot now. Okay. Professor?
yeah, now he's going
Uh,
to sulk. He'll come out with
uh,
some
he's
statement.
hot.
so
He's hot.
to answer your first question,
Yeah, quickly, Professor, please.
you know, who will win? In the 2019 elections, when the campaign started with respect to West Bengal, I didn't think the BJP would win many seats. But as the campaign proceeded, you know, I told my friends the BJP will win 10 seats, 12 seats, 15 seats, and I stopped because the momentum of that particular campaign was something different. It would be unwise to say anything right now, although the TMC has the lead. In the next 2 to 3 weeks, we will see how this basically momentum catches up. Now,
Okay.
Sandeep Da is absolutely correct with respect to the DBTs given by Mamata. Credibility matters. But if Modi in his speeches makes it very, very clear that this will continue, that particular thing can be neutralized somewhat. Somewhat. To
All
what
right.
extent, I don't know, but to somewhat it can be neutralized. So
Okay,
I would
Pallavi.
say
Yeah.
it will depend on how the campaign takes off.
All right, Pallavi, finally to you. Question is, do you see TMC coming back to power or BJP scoring an upset?
She's on.
Unmute
She's on
yourself.
mute.
See, I can't say till I don't go there. I mean, today to everyone it seems that TMC has an edge because the nature of their politics is such, and Mamata Banerjee is known to do just about anything. And but at times the desperation and the worry becomes very obvious. Now BJP, if it doesn't get its act wrong, so far the strategy which they keep telling me about how they are changing makes sounds good. But I don't know. I mean, I'm going to hit there.
Yeah.
I will see all of you there very soon. I'll see Sandeep there. He's going to
Okay.
host me.
All right.
So
So now, just to wrap up
So
very
what
quickly.
was that meme, Pallavi, of you being held back by somebody of BJP? I saw a tweet.
terrible, terrible, terrible.
What
I
was
Should I
need
what
your
was
sh-
it
support
should I
on
to
that.
suggest?
should I show
That,
it to everyone?
oh, show it because
No, no,
I
no,
don't know
please.
the message. Please show it here.
Horrible, horrible. Yeah,
Yeah,
horrible.
No, but
because
why?
maybe our viewers will be able to tell us what it means.
Yeah, I want to know. I thought you're a friend of BJP. It looked like they're stopping you from speaking or something. That what was it,
Yeah,
Pallavi?
No,
it
no,
was
Huh?
really sad.
it was more about me being a Godi of
No, but
that
it
certain
doesn't look
song.
like you're being the Godi.
No, you're not sounding like a Goti. You're just being pulled back, held back. You know that maybe you're too aggressively pro BJP or what it is. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
here it is.
on that happy
I'm
note, we
just sharing
can.
it.
Horrible, horrible, horrible. How can you do this, Advaita?
Can you all see it?
Wait,
Oh,
We can't see the full thing. The face we
I'll
can't
just
see. The
scroll
face.
up. Yeah,
Horrible.
yeah. Oh dear, I
I
can't
think.
find that. Oh
who's
wait, here
that?
we go. Yeah, there it is.
Ah, what
Pallavi,
is this? Why is Amit Malviya holding you
But
back?
but
Pallavi, we have
but
Pallavi. At
but
least they have you in a nice dress. It's like a nice
but
daisy
but who's that
yellow
lady over
silk
there in
Like
triangle.
a
green?
James Bond girl.
But who's the lady in green?
That is.
I don't
And
know.
who are you really shooting at? We
I
know the
don't
people
know.
with whom you have a fight, but none of them wear this kind of outfits. Huh?
Look at Professor, so happy to see this.
Professor, that's
Pallavi,
enough. There's nothing to laugh, okay?
No, no, no. We
our
are all.
compliments to the creator.
no, terrible, yeah, terrible.
Okay.
God.
Pallavi, that's what makes you the star of the
I
Sunday
condemn.
Club. Well,
We condemn it. We condemn it.
Yeah, condemn it.
No
Yeah,
more,
after laughing and having fun, then we condemn it.
no more oil for you or whatever you want.
I think
oil
I'm
or
glowing.
candle?
But
Anyway,
yes, but everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. We had a great turnout, considering we haven't been on for a while. So thank you so much for supporting us. I'm quite surprised. I went out a couple of times this past week, and I always met people who watch the Sunday Club, and I was
Yes.
surprised. They were all like, "Why did you stop? Why did you stop?" Then I
They
felt
also watch
guilty.
Professor, which is very hard to believe, but then there.
Yeah. And Maria Shakil, actually, the journalist, she asked me, she's like, you need to do it again. And I was like, you watch? And she's like, yeah. So sorry, Maria, I
So
don't know if
when
you want
we tell
people to know
you,
that you
so when
watch.
we tell you, it doesn't matter. But by the way, Sandeep, please feed Professor. He's in a bunker without food. Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
will. That's because he's in his in-laws' place. I think they don't.
No.
Come on, Professor. You didn't tell us this. Come
I
on.
am,
So
I am on official duty. I'm on official duty.
very bad, very
You
bad,
see,
Professor. Very bad.
I'm on official
So
duty.
at least
No,
if Professor is not at home and he's out, that means he doesn't have to cook tonight. That's why he's extending the show. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye, bye. See you.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Do like, share, subscribe. And if you want handmade soaps, the clay soaps, please to order them. The details are on the ticker. But thank you, everybody, for watching. And we'll be back soon. Bye for now.
And
Bye-bye.
please make that Himalayan rose
Yeah,
candle
yeah,
and soap for me.
yeah. We're going to be Uttarakhand based. So we're going to do a lot of
The roses are
Himalayas.
same everywhere, yeah. Uttarakhand
Arey,
has
we are
no
going to
special
show a
rose.
lot of like Himalayan, like our Uttarakhandi wild
Listen,
turmeric. All of those
Bengal has the
things are
best rose.
excellent. Okay, bring from me when you go for the this thing. Bring from me. I'll dry them and I'll powder them and I'll do everything with them. Bring them back.
I'm going there to cover elections, Advaita, not to help you make soaps, okay? Which I'll
No, so
most
you can
probably
bring
not even going to
roses
get.
back. Wherever you all go, wherever there are good ingredients, people, please do email me those as well because I do want to use natural ingredients that grows in our soil, not like chemicals and all that, as much as
What
you
about
can. It's
cactus?
impossible to be
What about
100% chemical free, but to whatever extent.
Okay, cactus.
what about
Professor is going to get you
cactus?
cactus.
Cactus, you get cactus also. In fact, I've got lovely
Professor,
cave,
you can get us tulips
Himalayan
from
cave
Jammu and
honey also
Srinagar,
that I'm
yeah?
using.
You can get her
What?
saffron, you can get her tulips.
Tulips from
Tulip,
the
Yeah.
which
Srinagar,
go
I'll
full
get be
behind.
arrested here. साला
Oh,
tulip garden
there's
से
a
मैं अगर
train
उठाता
now.
हूँ,
There's a train all the way
yeah,
to Srinagar, the Vande Bharat. I think that's going to be
I know that.
fabulous.
I've
Yeah.
used it,
That was
but
my
I don't
How's
want
it?
to
idea
go
of
to
a
jail
Sunday
here.
club, but anyway. Okay,
How is
bye.
it? How's
Must
the
be
this
It's
nice.
okay.
Vande Bharat?
It goes from Katra. It's very fast. It's very
Bye
convenient.
bye.
आराम से
How
बैठो
long
पहुंच
does
जाओ.
it take? How long does it take?
Two and a half from Katra, 2.5 hours to basically reach Srinagar.
Oh,
Oh,
fantastic.
fantastic.
I must
That's
take it. I
fantastic.
must take it. Okay, everybody. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.
Bye.
And
Take care.
switch to rice, not rotis, if you're worried about LPG.
Thank you.
Yeah.